It's the Date Master, and we're back. Yes, we're back with another banger. Again, I told you guys before, there is always something in the water, or should I say in the air, when it comes to social media. All of these things that you see daily, we see them from celebrities, but in a lot of cases, people are trying to mimic celebrity behavior. If you haven't noticed, fellas, pay attention to these grandiose social media posts from women. I mean, it's a photo shoot for a birthday, grand opening, just trivial things. They have these photo shoots, just random photo shoots for whatever reason. They have to make these crazy grand posts because they look at themselves as the women that they admire or follow on social media and in reality TV, etc. So they're trying to emulate what you see here, which is this Sweetie situation. How many guys have seen this story, heard about it? You're not experiencing these things by default. You're not experiencing these things just because. So you always want to ask a woman who she follows and who she admires, because ultimately she will start mimicking their look. Not long after, she will start mimicking their speech and behavior. So the power of imagery is very important. So this is some of these tactics you'll see in these tabloids, etc. Sometimes you see the video, so you get some of the telltale indicators of things to look for. When you look at this situation with Saweetie and Quavo a few months back, last year, whatever the time was, you saw them fighting in an elevator, having a heated exchange. They're having a heated exchange. A woman who truly wants to be with you, without a doubt, will not do anything to cause any type of drama, strife, or mess, because she understands that you are rare and that if she messes this one up, it's pretty much a wrap. It's pretty much a wrap. So if you're running into situations here and there that are messy, chaotic, delusional, not true, just unnecessary BS, you must understand that the frustration of waiting is getting to her. She's tired of waiting. She is tired faking. In a lot of cases, the frustration comes from faking because she cannot keep up that facade for too long. So when women not being honest by nature, you hear this all the time on these platforms, they can never give you a straight answer. So you must apply that to your relationship. If she wanted to leave, she's not just going to tell you. She's not going to tell you directly that I'm unhappy for XYZ reason. I'm unhappy and I want this, and this. She's not going to say that. So she has to sabotage the relationship to find an exit. So when people ask, girl, we got into it, he was doing this, I did this, and it just didn't work out, they're always going to have some ambiguous way to escape accountability by not being honest, because they have to maintain an image. But being honest helps maintain that image a lot better. It will help maintain your image a lot cleaner, because whatever you say it is, and it makes sense, the truth will always be respected. But women are liars and manipulators by nature. They have to maintain an image. So she avoids having the direct conversation of her unhappiness. So she lashes out. She comes up with these delusions because the time is ticking. She comes up with these delusions because she cannot say, I kind of want to test the waters. I want to see if I got one more shot. You hear this? Your woman can be into you today, and then tomorrow, again, that hypergamy will kick in if you're not operating on her timeline, because she's doing things in hopes of getting you to view her in a way of commitment. She's doing certain things to get your trust. All of these are conditional things. They're not, a lot of the times they won't be genuine. Because if they're genuine, they won't be followed up with a time check conversation. What are we doing? We've been doing this for this long, et cetera, et cetera. They would just be genuine. But we know once the time conversation comes about, then the hypergamy is becoming active. And again, she won't say that I want XYZ, because it will come off as her being a gold digger, whatever the case, shallow. She doesn't want to have a clear label based upon the fallout. She doesn't want to say, well, she left me because she wants to date a guy that looks like this, makes this, et cetera, et cetera. She doesn't want that, because that's too it's too accurate to be a farce. It's too accurate of a description. It's too specific of a label that she cannot hide or run from. So what she does is she starts the arguments. She gives these up and down attempts to make it appear that she is still invested, but in reality, we know when you look at the attempts, they're lackluster, no real detail, no real effort into the apology or the reconciliation attempt. So you must understand that these are not genuine attempts. These are just steps necessary to make it seem as if she tried her all before she left. This has to be documented. It's just kind of like doing an audit. You have to make sure certain things look a certain way to make it appear that you follow protocol properly and did the job properly. So don't be fooled by the half-assed attempts to reconcile. If you know for your mind that this person needs, help, therapy, time away to focus on themselves, etc., you need to give them that time, because she will not be honest enough to come to you and say, I want to test the waters and see what's really out here. I want to test the waters. You've exposed me to new scenery. I want to kind of see what's out here. The hypergamy is either going to lie dormant or it's going to be active. It goes in and out of cycles depending on their age. 30 and up, that hypergamy is definitely going to be active. The not settled gene is going to be active and going off like crazy. But this is just an attempt that she wants to test the waters. In a lot of cases, when you look at this scenario in per se, danger is usually right around the corner. Not to say that you need to feel threatened, but normally it's 6 degrees of separation, that the one that a person really desires and lusts for is sometimes a person in your circle, sometimes a guy you may be associated to, because it is the thrill of I can't really have him because of the close association. Just like if you were to see one of her friends and you have these desires, I want to, do whatever with her because I know I can't or should not want to do this with her because of their relationship. So it's a lot of psychology that goes into the levels and the processes of these relationships, to where women, again, I always say 70% of relationships, they end in phase one. You ask a lot of chicks, it was just 6 months, or my last relationship was 4 months. Like, who goes into a 4-month relationship? Who has a 8-month relationship? Because they're not really looking to get into these relationships. The guy, if you're pegged as the quote unquote boyfriend, you're the fall guy. You're not the one that she wants, because the one that she wants, she know he's on a certain level that she cannot demand nor require nor request a title from him, because she know he's far superior than her, which is why she plays her role to the T when she is dealing with that particular type of guy. And it's all about position. Once you put a woman in a certain position, she's going to want more and expect a certain level and consistency. So when you don't provide that, even with you being articulate about what you stand for and how you're going to move, it can come off un misunderstood. I wouldn't say misunderstood. It will come off and they will not comply. They will say they understand, they hear you, but in their mind, all that matters is what they want. They cannot follow instructions and simple direction as to what to do versus what not to do. So you must be fine with firing her. You must be fine with this process because you understand where you're trying to go, what's necessary to get there. This is going to be a hindrance. The Make sure you cut the attachment strings from your shirt, because a lot of guys get drugged through the mud because they don't want to fire her. They don't want to get rid of her because the process of replacing her is going to be too much effort. That's a telltale sign that you got lazy in the first place. That is a telltale sign that you have already got lazy in this relationship, which is why it came to a close. It may not be the sole reason why, but it is a factor nonetheless. Women want to test the waters because they constantly are looking at the pool. Social media, I tell you guys how powerful social media has become. It is a necessary behavior of us. We must engage in social media every day. In a lot of cases, 60 to 70% of our day we're on social media. They must test the waters because they're constantly looking at the waters and they're constantly stirring the waters up when it comes to pictures, certain posts, certain engagements under other posts. They're stirring up a pot because people are always watching. Someone's watching you right now that you wouldn't expect, but they don't want to say anything because to say something first is to submit first, and we know we're in a submission tug of war. Women want men to submit. Men want women to submit. But you will not get submission without having a power dynamic. Shout out Jason Black. You must have power, because to place one under submission is to have some type of force that maintains that state of submission, whether that's financial, whether that's a physical, emotional appeal or connection. It's going to be something of the two. In most cases, women need and will go after the feeling, not the objective substance. When it comes to money, they'll take it. In a lot of cases, they'll get both. They will cheat. They will have a boyfriend and a husband, because a boyfriend and a husband to her are not synonymous. The boyfriend gives her the feeling, the pleasure. The husband gives her the comfort and the security. A lot of the cases, 92% of the time, they will not get both. They will not get both. 92% of the time, the man that they choose to settle down with, they will not get both. Therefore, that's why they will step out and entertain the pool. And when it's just the right temperature, instead of sticking that toe in, they're going to get all the way in. They're going to get all the way in. Women do not understand or respect honesty. They like delusion. They say they want the truth, but they really can't handle the truth. So you can't expect a person that doesn't like or respect the truth to be truthful to you. So when you start to see the out of nowhere antagonizing of issues, stirring the pot, causing issues out of nowhere, this is a telltale sign that they're looking to test the waters and end the relationship via sabotage, because they do not respect honesty. Therefore, they cannot be honest with you. If you are running into this issue and it's coming up and it's consistent after you have voiced your opinion and your state on it, do not readdress it. You must use action. Talking after 2 conversations, it must go into action. It's the Date Master.